I think this island deserves the best quality of people because it has been so tried on in the past. It has been violated and abused so many times. And with all this, one quality that they preserved, and I hope us foreigners, immigrants, will not dent it, is their heartwarming. I would like to refer to the language we speak in Cyprus as the Cypriot language because it's very much different than the Greek language, and it has something special and unique, and it's a very old dialect we should preserve. I respect the fact that our kids learn Greek in school, but the Cypriot dialect has something very special in it. I chose the island, and then the island embraced me and integrated me. Through the people I met, through the language I came to love and speak, through whatever Cyprus represents. But I am not in papers, but in heart I am Cypriot. The beauty of Limassol is that we have the sea, and now we can go and sunbathe at the beach, but in 20 minutes driving we are at the mountains. It's a paradise. It's unique. So we wanted to preserve both worlds.
In all of us that we are here for longer, we can precisely open them, some windows and some doors to, let them see, we can do this because, oh my God, there's a huge community out there and I didn't know about it. So
we are a bridge. The foreigners that have lived here for some time now, we are a bridge in between the locals, the Cypriots, and the foreigners that are being brought. Romanians who lived here and for different reasons decided to go back to Romania, they brought with them furnos, like bakeries, and Cypriot pastry, and Romanians are going crazy about this. Then we have the halloumi, which is now found in almost all restaurants in Romania. So you see, is this exchange of skills, of knowledge, and it definitely contributed to the evolvement and the evolution of societies, both societies.
People, stories, social issues, environment, sports, arts and culture, life, urban issues, innovation. This is the L-Air Uncut.
Welcome to L-Air Uncut channel, the channel where we can talk about diversity with real stories. We do it here in our podcast called Limassol Ambassadors. In Limassol Ambassadors, as you know, we always have real stories with faces that are the best way of showing how positive diversity can be in an urban society. And today with me, I have Mihaela from Romania. Thank you very much for joining us in our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a very special encounter we had.
Yes, indeed. We met in a very big event for Limassol.
Yes.
Reflect. And it was one of the most interesting things that you can do in any big event like that is the encounters that you have.
Networking.
People, networking, and I would say, deeper even connections. In our case, it was one of those.
Yeah.
So, Mihaela, you are a very dynamic lady. That's a proof that we were there and we were networking and seeing different ways of developing our activities. And I felt that from the way you described your life and your experience in Limassol, in Cyprus altogether, I had to bring you to this podcast.
Well, I will tell you a little secret because we met through my friend Diana, with which I used to work a couple of years ago, and she's a foreigner. And she built a mixed family just like myself. I thought you are a visitor on the island.
Oh.
and you are considering relocating to Limassol. So I was actually lobbying. I was trying to bring you
That
over.
was a successful moment there.
Yes,
You
yes.
did. You succeeded. I'm here now.
Yes, awesome,
But I have
awesome.
been here for the last 30 years. But
We
it's
need
okay.
brilliant minds
Yes.
and positive people in Cyprus. Not that they don't exist here. We do have them. But as we were discussing before, just before we started, I think this island deserves the best quality of people because it has been so tried on in the past. It has been violated and abused so many times. And with all this, one quality that they preserved, and I hope us foreigners, immigrants, will not dent it, is their heartwarming. They are so welcoming to all blankets of immigrants, and we should help them preserve that by attracting positive and interesting and good people in Cyprus.
What an introduction. Now after this, I was going to ask you, how do you feel as a Limassolian? But I think you already half answered there. Do you want to add anything to this?
Yes, because so I've been adopted by Cyprus in January 2010. I was very young. I was a young adult. I was mesmerized. We first visited with my husband the island in December 2009. And as you can imagine, Romania was extremely cold during winter months. And I was mesmerized by Petra Turomiu and Curion Beach and how warm the weather was. So it was just like a very abrupt decision to leave Romania, where we were living at that time, and move back to my husband's home country. I've realized recently that the city grew into me and I grew together with the city. I was here when Tafota to Fairways were Tafota to Mitsubishi, and now are simply Tafota, whatever.
Okay.
We
For
haven't
those who
designated
don't know,
them.
Tafot, it means the traffic lights.
The traffic lights, yes, but that was, I think, the first Cypriot word I've learned, or Greek word. I would like to refer to the language we speak in Cyprus as the Cypriot language because it's very much different than the Greek language, and it has something special and unique, and it's a very old dialect we should preserve. I respect the fact that our kids learn Greek in school, but the Cypriot dialect has something very special in it, and it deserves its place in our community. So yeah,
it's a capsule of all the ways and the past of people as well.
Yes,
I would say
yes, the cultural waves.
Dialects are always where you can see all the footprints of everybody that crossed.
Correct.
And tried to conquer or didn't manage to conquer.
Yes.
You are definitely very very much in depth in the culture, I see, up to the point that you reivindicate the dialect to be kept.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes,
so
yes,
we're talking about 100% integration for you here. Yes,
I think so.
100% Limassolian. What about Cypriot, Romanian? What do you call yourself? You introduce yourself and you say, I'm Mihaela from...
Exactly. I travel a lot for business, for work. So whenever people ask me, where are you from? I think I make justice to both countries. And I would say I'm Mihaela. I live in Cyprus, but I'm Romanian.
Okay.
So I do preserve my nationality, and I consider myself very blessed to be born in Romania. But on the other hand, I chose the island, and then the island embraced me and integrated me through the people I met, through the language I came to love and speak, through whatever Cyprus represents. But I am not in papers, but in heart I am Cypriot.
You're Cypriot.
Yeah.
So definitely you sound like you fall in love with the island. So this is one of the most important ways for us to want to integrate, and then second to contribute, and then second even to improve the future
Correct.
of wherever we are. So I am very happy that you are here with us. You are at the right stage. So now that you mentioned that you have already discovered the best spots in the area, I'm going to
Yes.
ask you already to do our standard procedure here, which is asking the guest to put your pin on the places that you would say to anyone that comes to the island, you have to go and visit
Yes.
these places. What would be and why?
I would start with the very first place I fell in love when I moved to Cyprus, and that's a very little village. It's an abandoned village now, turned into a very beautiful golf course, which is just a couple of kilometers away from my husband's village, and that's Vikla. I will just
yes.
put it here.
Yes.
And I think whenever I have guests coming from abroad, I like to show them the Amathunda Kingdom because it's one of our most well-preserved historical places, and I think it's here.
Yes, yes.
Another yellow next to mine. And I think you will need to help me with the most beautiful beach we have around here, and that's Kurion.
Kurion.
I don't think it's here
manage.
somewhere. Yeah,
Lovely.
and it's not only the beach; it's also the ancient seats above the beach. Yeah, the Apollon temple and.
Have you ever been there for one of these events
Concerts.
they organize, either a concert or a Greek tragedy that they sometimes organize
I've been.
by Thok
Yes.
in August, September? It's an amazing moment. I mean, it's like you
with the
travel
sunset,
in
yeah.
time. Even after, when you have the moon on the
Yes.
sea, and then you are sitting there, and down you have the performance, and then in the background you have this beautiful setting of the moon and the sea. It is unique.
I've been to a quartet concert, I think. I will have to remember because it was years ago, before I had the twins. And I remember someone mentioned in the introduction that the acoustic of the place, it's unique. Well, I guess with all these ancient places.
Theater, yeah.
I mean, they had no engineers back then, but somehow they built all these magnificent...
They already had the intelligence to identify and to come up with ways to get it done. You just mentioned there two twins. So
Yes.
let's bring the family on board now,
In the
because
mix.
I know that through your children you became a very active citizen in many different ways, and I would like our guests our audience to listen to your stories, because I would say they are a very good example of how any foreign that comes, and any mother, even if you are not working, can become such an important element for our city and for our society. So tell us, how do you connect with the school, and how you have been participating in so many different initiatives?
To start and begin with, I believe we have this civic responsibility taught in school in Romania, which I felt it lacks here. So my oldest daughter is 12 years old, and the twins, girls as well, 6 years old. They attend St. Mary's School. It's a family tradition. My mother-in-law studied there just before the war in 1974. Then my husband for a very short period of time. So it was a family decision for the girls to go and study there. Also because at the time I had Iris, I was not speaking Greek. And I was very worried with helping her with the homework. I've never, ever imagined that I will be fluent in Greek language.
But you managed.
I managed.
Yes.
I managed because I do love the language.
Okay.
So St. Mary's is, for the ones that don't know the history of the school, we have celebrated 100 years from the inception of this missionary school on the island in Limassol, and there was one in the occupied side of Cyprus in Kormakitis. It's a language school, so that aligns perfectly with the type of family we are, because we speak 3 languages in the house. But it's a school that doesn't have much funds, and we don't receive money from the government, don't receive support. So we naturally had to create ways of attracting funds and creating these civil and social responsibility clubs for our kids. So together with the other members of the PTA, of the English Junior School of St. Mary's, we put together Kids for Kids. It's a civic club organization where we focus on teaching the kids how to be active parts of the society they are living in. And teaching this responsibility, you can't do it without proper example, without actually getting yourself involved in the hard work.
Leading by example.
Yes,
100%.
yes. Organizing events for adults was always off the table for us. Whatever we've done, it was involving the kids, and we would always have a designated person to explain step by step to the kids why we are doing this. So I think our first and most successful event was the beach cleaning in Lady Smile. We chose Lady Smile because it's a very flat surface, easy to spot the kids, not very busy. During the season, we chose to organize this action. And we have raised back then 3,500 euro from Exinity, who bought our bags of garbage. And I mentioned this because this was the starting fund for what Kids for Kids is today. And the operations we have set forth for the upcoming 2 years, let's say. But we also raised 10,000 euro in donations from other local firms, which are led by foreigners that were adopted by Cyprus. And those money went to foundations who support kids with cancer in Nicosia. After that, we've thought that, okay, the beauty of Limassol is that we have the sea, and now we can go and sunbathe at the beach, but in 20 minutes driving, we are at the mountains. It's a paradise. It's unique. So we wanted to preserve both worlds. The beach, which is part of us, of Limassol, and the mountains, which are on the outskirts of Limassol. And the importance of fresh air and oxygen on our planet, it's something that kids study in school. And we piggybacked on the geography lesson, and we planted 100 trees, which was a gift to our school for their 100 years anniversary.
Amazing.
Yes, in the village of Vasakelakiu, the village where we live with my husband and my girls, with a huge support from the Dasonomio Forestry Department. They donated the trees, and the community of the village, Vasakelakiu, donated a large plot of land, which is now in the process of being forested. We've planted 100 trees, and we are periodically...
Perfect collaboration.
Yes, but it's not only planting the tree. Yeah, because we had a STEM project where we explained the kids, you have to dig the hole that deep and mulch and blah and blue, but it's the maintenance afterwards. One act of kindness
is not enough.
Is not enough. So caring for your tree, each child adopted a tree. They remember, I've planted a birch or an olive tree or whatever was chosen by the forestry department, because we had to do a little bit of research with the kids to explain what type of trees are growing in this region, how many times a week or month we have to water them. So now for October, we are preparing the pruning. So the kids are going to come and be involved in that as well.
So they will collect already the fruits
Of their work.
of their work.
Yes.
Well, this is what we can call one of the most amazing examples of long-term investment.
Yes.
And our children, like all mothers and all fathers know, they are definitely the best investment for all of us to involve, because whatever we do long-term is not maybe for us, but it will be for them.
Exactly.
So congratulations. It's an amazing, it sounds very simple, but I know it's not.
Yes.
Because when it comes to put people together to work towards something that sometimes is not even as tangible as
Exactly.
100 trees. I mean, whatever you do in terms of charity, it's always very, very hard work. But you mentioned there something that I find very important to highlight, is the fact that for all of us who are foreigners, there are always moments that either we are told or we feel, I might not manage this or that because I don't know the people, or because I'm not from here. I don't have, like my father, grandfather connections.
Yeah.
But we have the foreign companies. So
Yes.
we become as a family.
Yes.
Somehow we feel that it's easier to get to them and get them to contribute to our events, easier just because we all share one thing. We are all foreigners here. Our families are not here. This is not our birthplace, but it's our place now, right?
Exactly.
So this, I think it's a very important thing to highlight and tell people, because I've met a lot of people at Reflect, that I'm sure you also maybe share this feeling, that they were still not 100% sure if they would stay for long. They were saying sometimes that I might stay here for 3, 4, 5 years and then move elsewhere. So they are not yet ready to sometimes to even explore enough of what is there in Limassol and in Cyprus altogether that would justify them to settle here long term.
Yeah.
And we can help that. I mean, all
Exactly.
of us that we are here for longer, we can precisely open them some windows and some doors to, let them see, oh, we can do this because, oh my God, there's a huge community out there and I didn't know about it. So
we are a bridge.
Yeah.
The foreigners that have lived here for some time now, we are a bridge in between the locals, the Cypriots, and the foreigners that are being brought either with by the beauty of the country, with the pandemic and this range of digital nomads and people trying to find beautiful places to work from. We've attracted a lot of IT or tech companies,
tech connected people, because there are a lot of them.
So because these people don't work in the office, I always tell people it only takes one Cypriot for you to be dragged in the heart of the island, of what Cyprus means. But for those foreigners that come as digital nomads, it's very difficult. So I think it's very important for us, the bridge, to be more vocal and more out there and involve these people, because they all want to have a community to be attached to, not only through schools, but like-minded people. So when you are a foreigner, you feel like a foreigner. You do see the difficulties, or you remember the difficulties you encountered when you first came on the island, and now you are prepared and equipped to help the newbies. So you have some insight. This is what we were discussing before.
I feel that traveling, on and off as a tourist, of course, is a very good thing. And it's something that everybody should do, as much as you can in terms of time, or as much as you can afford. But one thing is the traveling as a tourist, and the other thing is when you move to another country, even if it is just for 5, 6 years. I mean, the fact that you are establishing yourself from zero, from scratch, and you build your new life, whatever that is, student, worker, doesn't matter. This is, in my opinion, something that it's the equivalent of a university degree. Because this gives you a skill set that you didn't even know you had.
Correct.
Because you are on your own and you have to build all those kind of structures that you didn't know that you needed most of the times, and now you know that you need, and you know that you can, and you start building on top of that, and becoming even a more interesting person, and also interesting professional. I don't know what you think about, what do you feel when you go back to your home country, hometown? Because I feel that once we are abroad for many years and then we go back and we visit our own hometown, I feel that when I'm in Lisbon, it's like, I mean, I am one of them, but I am not 100% one of them anymore.
It's true.
It's a good thing. It's sometimes it's not that good, but I think at the end of the day, it's unique, and we should, use it in the best possible ways, so that we can help both communities, the one we left and the one we are in now. What do you feel when you go home, back home, the previous, let's say, country?
I've traveled in April to Romania because it was my 20th year reunion, high school reunion.
Oh.
So I got the opportunity to get together with my friends, and I've realized that around 60% of us are living abroad. Now, you see, the time I left Romania and I came to Cyprus, the situation at European level was quite different. Romania was always the greatest exporter of workforce for the other European states, as you mentioned. And that was the case with Cyprus as well. I remember when I came in 2009, we were the second minority in Cyprus, not in Limassol, in Cyprus, after the Greeks. So traveling back and forth between Romania and Cyprus this past 15 years, 14 years, I've realized one thing, that migration, in essence, is beneficial to the countries, because we get an influx of influences. So Romanians brought qualified workforce to Cyprus, and they contributed to the constructions industry, let's say. But what Cypriot did for Romania, and maybe not many Cypriots are aware, or many foreigners, is that they invested in areas in Romania and they brought good quality service in F&B industry, food and beverage industry. So it was an exchange. Romanians who lived here and for different reasons decided to go back to Romania, they brought with them furnos, like bakeries, and Cypriot pastry, and Romanians are going crazy about this. Then we have the halloumi, which is now found in almost all restaurants in Romania. So you see, is this exchange of skills, of knowledge, and it definitely contributed to the evolvement and the evolution of societies, both societies.
The common ground, I don't know if you agree, is basically openness. The moment you are open, ideas come just by being there and talk with people and feel what they need, what they like.
Exactly.
And then a business will come out of that.
Exactly.
A new import, a new export will come out of that. So it's being open. So this is very important, because I insist on this because I am involved now in another project is connected with the fact that tourists, wherever we go as tourists, and here because we also receive thousands and millions of tourists, we have to be responsible tourists.
Correct.
We
Of course.
have to have as much respect for the society we are visiting as we have when we are
in our home country or whatever.
we are immigrants, we live in a new place. So the respect is very, very crucial, because once we feel that, then we look at things in a different way.
It's
right?
true. It's true.
Here, for instance, what you were mentioning before, the initiatives you were developing with the school and the green, and here, for instance, and I would use this as a bridge for another question. Here, for instance, we need more green in our cities. I mean, Limassol. One of the things that made me choose the house where I live now, like 20 years ago, I bought the place, was the fact that around there were trees, and I thought, well, I don't see trees anywhere in the city, but at least when I come home, I'll be able to see the trees from my neighbors, from, the other areas that existed there. And that's why I bought that house, not because of the house itself. The need of green, it's so important because we were brought up in a place with a lot of green. So what would you think, where would you put the green in, let's say, your priorities, top priorities for development in Limassol the next 5 years? We can send this to the new mayor as well, right? So tell me.
Yes. Look, I am a mountain girl. I mean, I'm coming from a city that's in the mountains, so I depend on green. So I believe the choice of greenery, I know that there are certain rules where whatever new building arising in the city must have a designated green space. But I think the choice of green is very important as well. So the builders, I don't actually know who, the landscaper, that chooses how to construct this green area around buildings should focus on trees that actually give shade, because palm trees are gorgeous, are beautiful, exotic, they are attractive for tourists. But us, and I speak from my difficulties as a mother of small children, first of all, walking on the sidewalks with small kids, especially when they are in prams, is very difficult. It's very difficult in Limassol, not only because we have the trees in the middle of the sidewalk, but also there are very narrows, and I have twins, and I have this double stroller, so it makes it even more difficult. But what's difficult, you know how kids are. Some, they will cry, they will drop a toy. You need to take small breaks, and we cannot. In Limassol, it's impractical to walk with your kids. And I don't know about Lisbon, but back in my home city, we would walk everywhere and anywhere. Here it's hot. It's most of the year we have high temperature. Like now, what we were discussing just before we entered, I came walking from 100 meters away, and I felt I started sweating because there was no shade. So the choice in green is also a priority, because I know they are doing their best. And my husband is employed in the forestry department, and they are responsible sometimes with the cleaning of Dasudi beach and the green areas. So I know what goes behind the scenes and how they are trying to improve the green space. But that's not sufficient, because the forestry department only cares for certain areas. So even us as citizens of the city and have a plot of land, we should think or consult with experts when choosing the right trees for shade, to produce shade. And now we have seen all these beautiful, I don't know how they are called, but they have these gorgeous orange flowers. They produce a lot of shade. And the mulberry tree. The mulberry tree is again a good option. It's leafy and gives beautiful shade. So I would like to see more of those on the sidewalks and the middle of the road. Yeah,
I am unable to give you examples because it's definitely not an area in which I know a lot about. But we keep your suggestions because it sounds like you have thought about this. Definitely, the green is very important for the cities, and even in terms of pollution. I mean, there are so many studies out there, and European Union has done so many studies. They have spent so much money on research, and the majority of the cities, unfortunately, people, they are not aware of that. Those studies already have been done. They are published, they are free, they are online, and we keep on, thinking like, how it was in the last 10 or 20 or 30 years. So I think this is what I feel in the air in Limassol right now in 2024, is that we have a really special mix of people from all nationalities, locals included, that are open. There is openness, there is will for change. For God's sake, we have now even a YouTuber in the European Parliament.
Yes.
If this is not the sign that Cyprus is definitely changing, I mean, what it is. So I really think that Limassol, with people that are willing to contribute for a better future, like you and like many of our guests, we can only now put things in action and start investing, each of us in our small bubble. We all have our own bubble, and move forward. Mihaela, it was really a pleasure to have you with us.
Likewise. I would have chatted with you for hours.
We could stay here another 3 hours, but there are other podcasts coming after us. So we definitely will meet at some point in another context, because you are a lady founder. You have founded your own company. I will just ask you to say a few words about your company before we finish our conversation, and tell us how it is to be a woman founder in Limassol at the moment.
It's easy because Cyprus and Limassol is supportive of startups. So we do have the perfect legislation. It's quite easy. We have guidance. We were discussing about the different services you can inquire. If you are not sure, not certain, there are offices around Cyprus that can clarify even legal aspects, or at least offer guidance. The citizens office. Okay, now that's not related to business, but
Grafiotu Politi.
Which, when you ask me about my mother country, I left because of bureaucracy. In Cyprus, I think the bureaucracy is less and less. And I don't know, I would personally like to thank all those people in Grafio Politi who imagine that me, you, and maybe 10 other people are asking the same question on and ever again, and they don't lose their patience, and they gracefully answer our questions or guide us further. So a big thank you to all these people, which helped me in different situations. But business-wise, I've never ever felt that I'm a woman in a man's world in Limassol. I have always been supported in building a career inside or from the companies I used to work for, and build experience and knowledge till my family. Definitely, Cyprus is the place to be and start your own business. It's low taxation and a very comprehensive legal framework, networking events. We have it all. I mean,
and you can even go to the beach after your
exactly. Work from the beach.
Or work from the beach, also possible. We have lots of places with Wi-Fi. Well, Mihaela, I think this is the best way to finish our conversation. A happy lady founder of a company in Limassol. And what is the name of your company, by the way?
Instamax Advisory. We are doing corporate services.
Thank you very much for being with us. And,
Thank you for having me, Paula.
All the best. Best wishes for your business, for your family, and for you as a positive, active citizen of Limassol.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being with us, and we will meet soon again next week. Another guest showing us that diversity can bring positive impact in any urban society like Limassol. Thank you. Till next week. Very much.
Thank you.
This is the El Air Uncut.